Creativity is something that eluded me for a very, very, very long time in my life. I wasn't a fan of art class, wasn't a fan of creative writing, anything like that. I played clarinet and took piano lessons when I was younger. And take a guess, I did not mess with it. It all felt like a chore. Like, I was an athlete, I was a gamer. If it wasn't football, track, COD, I really could not care less. I was also very logic driven when I was younger, very type A. So I really did think it was a waste of time. I didn't think I was progressing. I wasn't getting smarter. I wasn't improving in what I thought was important at that time. It's funny though, because now all I want to do is create. This YouTube channel is just another extension of that. I felt like I was ignoring an entire half of my brain, personality, and it's helped me unlock so much more to life than just making things and showing other people. For those of you who are feeling how I felt, hopefully this video can help you reframe that, help you unlock some sort of creativity, because it really is a massive benefit. Not only do you get to do cool things, but it's helped me live life in so many more ways than I thought were possible. All right. First, let me define creativity, or what it is to me at least. Creativity is a physical expression or representation of something internal to you. So to say you're not creative is to say you have nothing within you. No thoughts, emotions, ideas, beliefs, values, philosophies, anything else you could think of. And if you say you don't have any of those, you're either capping or you're dead. I'm gonna just be real. Second, I think the biggest shift I made in my life, there should be no goal in creating. As soon as you go into an idea or project with the thought that you deserve a specific outcome, like money, fame, or anything else extrinsic, you're cooked. It's over. Project is dead. For my experience, project is dead. You'll make something, but I don't think I've ever made anything good when I've created for the sake of an outcome. And that's really how you end up making things that, lead to the label of corny or fake, because people can tell. I'm sure you can tell. It's just kind of like you didn't really mean that. I saw a video that gave a great analogy. If I could find it, I'll put it on screen. I'll tag the guy. But basically, imagine you're at a park. Some random guy's walking around out of nowhere, flashes you, drops his pants, everything's out. You're minding your business. You're going to be pretty sick, feeling disgusted. Actually might have ruined your day. And now imagine you're in your apartment minding your business, gaming on a computer, reading a book, whatever you're doing. You just happen to look out the window, just random thought, maybe a bird flew by, caught your attention, you looked out the window. And by pure chance and coincidence, across the street, you see a couple getting intimate. A private moment that you're obviously not supposed to see. You'll have much different feelings than a guy who's forcefully showing himself to you at the park. That's what art is supposed to be. An authentic and unforced view into your life. Whether someone else finds it beautiful is irrelevant. If you're living and creating in that moment purely for you, rather than forcefully trying to create and show something to somebody that you think they'll enjoy, it is totally different things. Next, I want to go into the act of actually creating. People get lost in the idea of, I can't paint, I can't draw, I can't play an instrument, etc., so I'm not creative. I cannot stress how important it is to find and choose a medium of creation that you enjoy. And if you don't know, a medium is, an avenue of creating, drawing, painting, making music, engineering, coding. And coding, I think, is a big one people overlook. A medium isn't always a traditional one, like I mentioned before. I think engineers are the most creative people alive. Think of the Wright brothers. I think it's my favorite example. Building a fucking plane for the first time. Imagine telling somebody in 1893 that they'd be flying in 10 years. Bro, they look at you. They actually might call you a witch. You got to be some kind of delusional. Coding, as I mentioned before, is also a medium. Photography is a medium. Interior decorating is a medium. There are so many other means where you can make your internal perspective and your internal view on the world into something real. By now, you may be wondering why some art is more universally recognized than others, why some art is, and heavy on the quotes here, better than others. The real skill gap is knowing how to properly get your idea out and make it real. For example, I'm a music producer. I have so many melodies, vocal ideas, song concepts that I want to create. But if I don't have the musical knowledge or know how to use FL Studio, there's no amount of like good ideas I can have if I physically cannot get the idea out. Same with, shading and drawing or understanding feng shui and the flow of a room in, interior design. You have to get good at your craft to make what you want to make. And for me, the way to solve this without, formal training, whether it's going to take lessons, whatever, is collaboration, especially when it comes to music. That's going to be my main example here because production is my medium of choice. Find other people who enjoy similar or adjacent mediums and just get together, just hang out. You don't necessarily have to work on the same things, but being in the same space, you're bound to pick up a new trick or a technique that you can use to create ideas you may not have been able to make before. Going to the studio with other producers has introduced me to workflows, shortcuts, techniques, music theory, so much just general production knowledge, little tips and tricks, things they use in their songs to make their songs sound better that I can incorporate in a completely different way that would make my song sound better. On top of that, I get to put my style into it, someone puts their style into it, and now we make something none of us would have ever made individually. You just make cool stuff. Like there's there's really no loss. Lastly, and one of the more important parts of it all is inspiration. And I think this is where the process of being creative unlocks more to life. Every creative gets stuck from time to time. It's completely natural. Find me one artist who hasn't had a down period or a period where they felt like they couldn't make anything. The worst thing you can do is try to force something that isn't there. Whenever I'm feeling that way, I'll go try a new medium. I'll push my brain in a different direction. If I can't, get a beat out that I want to make, I'll go maybe design some cover art for some songs that I already have. I'll go come up with music video concepts for some of my friends' music. And sometimes I'll just walk away and come back. One of my favorite ways to kind of work without being inspired is go back to a previous project, especially if it's a much older one, because maybe if it's from 6 months ago, I've learned a ton in these 6 months. I can go apply new tricks to that project and hopefully make it even better. But let's say you're starting from zero. TJ, where do I get my ideas from? If creativity is a representation of the internal needs more to work off of. Simply just broaden your inputs. Like it's really that simple. Every new input breeds new perspectives, emotions, thoughts, ideas, and so on. Travel if you can. That's my favorite thing to do. I have a video on this coming later, but I've been to 15 countries, and musically, everywhere has something to offer. Everywhere has something different, a different drum pattern, a different bounce. Anyways, I'll talk about that later. Listen to new music. Talk to a stranger when you're waiting in line for coffee or like waiting for the bus or something. Go on a hike. Drive a new road. Every little bit helps, and the tiniest moment can spark your greatest ideas. I think interacting with human beings you wouldn't normally interact with and nature are my favorite ways to gather new input, but I do want to say consuming slop will do the opposite. But I'll save that for another video. But to summarize everything real quick, creativity is making something internal into something real. That's it. It is literally that simple. So every human is creative because what I have in my mind is not what you have in your mind. Even if identical twins grow up in the same place, they have maybe the most minute difference. Give them the same tools, I'd say more often than not, they're going to make something different, even if it's just slightly different. Do not go into creation with a strict goal. Be fluid. If I go into production wanting to make EDM, house music, but I naturally gravitate more towards a Tame Impala type, slow rock, alternative kind of song, I'm not going to stop myself. That's where the flow took me. That's where the project took me. When I'm creating, I am not in control. I am an avatar for what my internal self wants to create. Don't expose yourself forcefully. Let someone naturally walk in on it. Do not force your creativity, or do not force yourself on others. People are going to be annoyed. They're going to find it corny. Might even be disgusted. Big one, find a medium you enjoy. Learn to do it well. Collaborate with others. Go outside. Consume real life. Good input equals better output. And finally, I wanted to save this for the end because I think this is more of a life lesson than a creativity lesson. Ego will kill true creativity every single time. It will masquerade as your own vision. It's like, hey, I wanted to do it this way. I think, me forcing myself to make a song is, no, I want to do this, so I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to brute force my way. It doesn't work like that. It will never feel real, and I don't think it's possible to make something genuine when ego's in the way. If your natural flow takes you away from where you wanted it to go, let it. It's okay. You can always make another song. You can always make another drawing. You can always save your draft and redesign a room. You do not know better than nature. I promise. I can guarantee it. You're there for the best idea, even if it does not mean it's your original idea. This goes for both individual work and collaborating. Be open, live life, be humble, acknowledge your ideas, know that your idea is unique, and whether someone else finds it good or bad is so far out of your control, there's no point even thinking about it. Make for you, and if people like it, they'll like it. If you get better at your medium, the odds of people liking it will naturally go up. That's just how it works. But I hope this helped. If you're feeling stuck and want to be creative, or at least give your brain cells a little bit of fire. If you guys have any topics you want me to cover, or anything you want to hear about, anything you're interested in knowing, let me know. I'm open to more ideas. Not going to guarantee I'll do it. If it's something I resonate with personally, hell yeah, let's work. If you've got any of your own advice that I didn't mention, please leave it down below. I'm always open to hearing what you guys have to say. I do not know everything by any means, so I'm always interested into hearing life from others. But yeah, thank y'all for taking the time to watch, listen, however you consumed. Really does mean the world. But yeah, I'll catch you on the next one. Peace and love.